Welcome to CamelbackTrading.org. This is the review of May 27, 2026. Using our proprietary Camelback TradingView market profile, let's review today's price action and look at what is ahead for tomorrow. The day was won by the bears, but we saw completely different tones between ES and NQ. More importantly, we have to look closely at the structural data and ask ourselves if the bears actually managed to win anything significant. Let's look at the differences. NQ opened with a gap up, keeping value firmly in favor of the bulls right out of the gate. It printed an open drive at the opening bell, leaving a session high that was never revisited. While that morning gap did get closed and NQ traversed all of the previous day's value, it never managed to reach yesterday's low. Because of this structural resilience, the monthly, weekly, and daily trends remain firmly up. Thanks to that strong opening gap, NQ printed a new all-time high in regular trading hours. However, overnight price action left an even higher all-time high in the Globex session, which stands as the primary target for the bulls moving forward. For the majority of the day, NQ developed a B-shaped profile, signaling that today's downward rotation was driven more by profit-taking than aggressive new selling. While value ultimately migrated overlapping lower, the later periods in the afternoon all attempted to trade back above today's value area high. That is a clear sign that buyers are still highly interested in reclaiming control. NQ wrapped up the day with a prominent 10-wide point of control. In ES, the session started with a completely different rhythm. It opened inside yesterday's range but above value. We had to wait until D period for sellers to step in, take out the initial balance low, and put the daily trend into balance by taking out the previous day's low. However, after the low of the day was set in H period, buyers stepped right back in, pushing the market all the way up to close the session exactly at the value area high. Value ended up overlapping higher, though it spent parts of the day unchanged. Structurally, ES is now locked in a clear two-day balance, with today's low acting as the balance low and yesterday's high acting as the balance high. To the upside, ES still has to contend with Memorial Day's wide merge point of control and the new all-time high printed in last night's Globex session. Before tackling those, bulls must first break out of this daily balance high. ES carries over a 10-wide point of control from today. The monthly and weekly trends remain up, while the daily is firmly in balance. Until the bears can successfully shift the daily trend to down, buyers remain in structural control. A balanced stage like this is healthy. It allows buyers to rebuild inventory and ultimately makes the market structure stronger. Looking at the plan for tomorrow, the focus is entirely on how price behaves around today's value areas and key structural boundaries. In ES, the immediate task for the bulls is to start trading above today's value area high to find acceptance and launch an attack on the daily balance high. If they break out of that balance high, they have two clear overhead targets: the wide merged holiday point of control and the Globex all-time high. If they fail to find acceptance above the value area high and dip back inside, buyers can lean on today's 10-wide point of control as vital support. A breakdown below this level is where the lead hands over to the bears. The bears need to finish the job they started today. Their ultimate goal is to break today's low, which doubles as the daily balance low. Doing so successfully shifts the daily trend to down, which would be a true win for the bears. To build the momentum needed for this, sellers must accept below and aggressively defend today's value area low. If price opens inside today's value area, exercise patience and wait for clearer market-generated information. If the price holds above the 10-wide point of control, expect buyers to step in. Conversely, responsive sellers should show up if we trade below it. Over in NQ, the ultimate incentive for the bulls is to hunt down and secure the all-time high printed in the Globex session. This target might fall tomorrow, or it may take a few sessions of rebuilding. To maintain near-term control, bulls must win back value progression by trading and holding acceptance above today's value area high. If price rotates back into today's value area, bulls can look to lean on the 10-wide point of control for a structural bounce. If the bulls lose this 10-wide point of control, sellers will gain traction and look to trade through today's value area low to attack today's low of the day. Taking out this low is critical for the bears, as it would officially shift the NQ daily trend back into balance. Below that balance low lies highly lucrative targets, including the open gap left from yesterday and the wide overnight point of control resting inside that gap. If we open inside today's value area, as always, wait for cleaner market-generated information to reveal the true intraday direction the market is trying to go for. As we head into tomorrow's session, Remember that the broader structural trends are still heavily favoring the buyers, even if the intraday rotations felt heavy at times today. The market is processing recent highs and sorting out value at these elevated levels. Rather than trying to outsmart the tape or forcing an early narrative, let the market profile and the MGI guide your setups. Don't start your day with a rigid bias. Lay out your references, watch how price behaves around today's 10 wide points of control, and let the data guide you. Remember, if you are going to buy an account with Tradeify, use code CB2724 and help us donate to St. Jude's Hospital, 20% this time. Be safe and trade well.